And welcome in, everybody. It's your Frogman here, King Pepe the Second, bringing you the latest on the Senran Kagura Rerun collaboration that is going to be on April 9th. Yes, because what other collaboration could it be? Because they already had their Tensai collaboration, right? And now next up on the list would be Senran Kagura. Because it can't be Goblin Slayer, because they already had that, right? Recently, last year, correct? And one of the devs did say, and if you were there and you were actually listening to what they said, I think it was Junhee. I think it was him. I do apologize if I mispronounced your name, but I do believe that that's how you pronounce it. But yeah, he did announce that they were going to be doing collaboration reruns in the order that they were released. So Mushoku Tensei was the first one, and now the second one would be Senran Kagura, right? So it adds up. So we're going to take a look at this, but before we do, like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video, if you enjoyed the content. Any new players out there or anybody new to my channel, welcome on in. I do appreciate your time, and I hope you guys enjoy the videos, from guides to news to very, if I cover drama, I do. But from anything with that, with Brown Disc 2, I got you covered. But now, let's head into it. So, here we go. Okay. So, first thing I want to say is this, because I'm going to go through this as best I can with you guys. Reason why I wanted to do a video, I know it's not anywhere near April 9th, but I wanted to do this anyway, just for anybody watching to get some sort of feel for the characters here, Hikage, Yozakura, Yomi, and Yumi, okay? And decide on if you want to save up for them, if you want to plus them a little further, or if you want to skip them entirely. I just want to, let you guys know what their skills are, and if they're at all really good for the current meta or for just current content in general, I got you covered. Okay. So first things first, Mamonir, just remember, she is going to be released very, very soon, in fact. Okay, in 2 days, I believe, right? 2 days. So my last video, I explained investment-wise, I would plus do her, because you can legit just plus 3 her through recruiting her through the pub, the safe zones, right? And you can also get her in the Golden Thread shop that resets each month. So that's another copy right then and there. And you can also get her in the Powder of Hope shop, okay? So that's 3 copies right there, okay, that you can legit get, okay? So just telling you, there's ways to save that you can get, if not all of them. In fact, you can. It's possible. But I'm just telling you ways to save up, okay? You don't have to invest too hard on Mamonir. In time, you can slowly do it, okay? Now, let's hit it. Okay, so Hikage, right? So we're going to start off with Hikage. I'm going to talk about her gear, her stats, and all that. So here she is. We're going to take a look at her costume now. Now, Hikage was the very first 12-hit chain stacker in this entire game, ever. Yes, it was a collaboration character, in fact. It was Hikage. Before Wilhelmina was debuted, right? Before she graced us with her elegance and her booty, Hikage was actually the one costume that did 12 hits. She was the only one. And she was used for a lot of content, mind you, at the time. A lot of content. So, if we take a look at her skills, let's go preview her. Since there's no dev notes on this, and I would have to go back, way back, to find those dev notes. I mean, you can't find them online, by the way. You actually can. It's possible. I've searched up old dev notes before. But yeah, so if we look at her at a +0, okay, her SP cost is 5. Her cooldown time is 3 turns. So I'm going to read her skills. Attack the enemy 12 times, dealing so-and-so physical damage based on whatever your gear stats are, equal to 40% of your attack per hit. Okay, so right there. She is a single target, by the way. She targets 1 unit, so kind of like how Ventana is, right? Or how Ventana is, I should say. And then if we +1 her, her SP cost goes down by 1 point, right? You see that? Goes down by 1 point. No other skill effects change. +2 her. Okay, so now she's dealing a little bit more physical damage, you can see. And it's equal to 50% of your attack per hit, so it went up by 10%. +3 goes up again by another 10%, so dealing so-and-so physical damage equal to 60% of your attack per hit. At +4, her cooldown time goes down to 1. So in a lot of ways, this was actually very similar to Iron Monarch Wilhelmina, when you had to invest in her that way, right? because her cooldown time was reduced to 1 when she was +4. See a pattern here? So yeah, +4. That's where I would say if you're gonna invest in her and if you really want to use her, right, for content, +4 in her would be the best way to go. And then +5, you just again deal so-and-so physical damage equal to 70% of your attack per hit. So it goes up by another 10%. You level up her skill tree. Her cooldown time still stays the same. Her SP cost, though, however, goes down by a point. So instead of 4, it's 3. And then attack the enemy 12 times, dealing so-and-so physical damage equal to 90% of your attack per hit. So there you have it. So it goes up to 70% to 90%. Okay. Now, skill tree wise, she focuses a lot on attack percentages, as you can clearly see. Right? She has the crit damage here. And then even these are crit damages. Okay? Percentage numbers. And she has like 2 health, which is actually kind of funny. But yeah, so everything else, however, increases her attack. And then this reduces her SP consumption. So there you have it, right? Now, substats, gear, okay? If you want to focus on her, just put some more flat stats on her, if anything, just to balance it out. If I was actually using Hikage like right now in a fight, I would be putting a little bit more into her flat stats and a little less in some percentages here, right? So that one's nice armor. Now this one, like, if anything, I would probably do this one, in fact. Or I would change it to the, where is it? This one right here. I would either change it to this if I was, if I had some, like, if I had, like, one more flat stat, I would put in this, right? So Prime Authority I would use because this also has a flat stat as a basic attribute as well as a percentage number. So that actually would be a little bit better than the one that I have on her. It's not bad. God King Silver Arm. It's not a bad one, by the way. It's just that you want a little bit more flat stat. Bounce it out, right? But nonetheless, that's how I would build her, correct? I would leave her Venomous Touch alone with the crit damage because you can never have too much crit, right? Well, actually, you can. Wait a minute. Hold up. You can have a little bit too much. Just like I said, just balance it out. You shouldn't have an issue with it. Tier 4 gear, obviously. And then when it comes to her exclusive gear, Hinata's Knife. Okay, so the exclusive attribute on this is a 90% critical damage. And then basic attributes are flat stats because at the time, this quality of life change never existed, right? So, do you necessarily need her exclusive gear? No, you don't need it. Exactly, you really don't. In fact, you can just craft a another gear if you want to. In fact, you can also just craft the Peerless Javelin, in fact, because it does have flat stat. 2 of them, in fact. So you can actually just craft this one. And you should be fine, if anything. So, yeah. I would go with the Javelin, to be honest, just because, has 2 flat stats. And, or the Hammer of Thunder, tier 4, obviously. It has a flat stat and a percentage, so this is a good balance, too. So this is also a nice one. I wouldn't do the sword or the Evil Dragon's Blade, just because it has a critical damage, and you already have the Venomous Touch. Basically, in my case, I wouldn't use it, but if I was lacking it, maybe I would equip it. But I would just focus a little bit more on flat stat with attack. But yeah, so that's the alternative route to use for weapon-wise, okay? Unless you want to collect it as a collection, because it is a collaboration, then go for it. Okay, so that's Hikage. Now, team-wise, Hikage, you can team her up literally with Chain Stackers, with Hamina. Bridal Rafithi as a support. Owenson Libertas as a support. You can use Homunculus Lathel. You can even equip, anybody else that has a high chain attack. My God, I can't talk. But since Wahamina is physical damage-wise, and since she does a lot of chain stacking, I would just use her with Hikage. Okay? So there you have it. Now we go to Yuzakura, right? So Yuzakura, she's a magic dealer, by the way. She is a magic dealer. Okay, so let's take a look at her stats here. Now, I didn't level her up. Now, at the time, I didn't really have, like, you know, the materials and stuff, so I never actually went all out for her when it came to, like, leveling up her skill tree. But if we take a look at her, let's take a look at her. So, plus 0. SP cost is 5. Cooldown time is 3 turns. She applies an augmentation effect to herself, increasing her basic attack damage by 400%. This effect lasts until you perform one basic attack. Okay? Or it says attacks. So one basic attack or attacks. It's an odd way to word it. I mean, it is. So basic attack, this is the basic attack characters use, excluding skill and knockback attacks. Okay? So attack the enemy 3 times, dealing so-and-so magic damage based on your gear, equal to 150% of your magic attack per hit. And she attacks in a very funny, what'd you call that? A T attack. So that's her attack range, right? Now, if we're looking at her at plus 1, her SP cost goes down, right? It's the only thing that changes. Plus 2, looks like dealing so-and-so magic damage increases equal to 195% of your magic attack. So from 150% to 195%, that is an increase of what? 45%? So 45%, right? And then plus 3, her basic attack damage increases from 400% to 650%. So that's a 250% increase, right? And then I think that's all that changes, right? Yep, that's all. And then a plus 4, right? Plus 4, her magic attack increases damage equal to 240% of your magic attack per hit. So from 195% to 240%. Okay. So again, that's a 45% increase, right? And then at plus 5, apply an augmentation effect to yourself, increasing your basic attack damage by 900%. So that goes up by a lot, right? So from 650% to 900%. It's quite a leap. And then I think this also, yeah, this one stays the same down here. But then when you level up your skill tree, apply an augmentation effect to yourself, increasing your basic attack damage by 1200%. It's quite a leap. That's a very big leap, in fact. And then attack the enemy 3 times, dealing so-and-so magic damage equal to 285% of your magic attack. So it goes up by another 45%. So there you have it. That is Yuzakura. In case you are interested, we look at her gear here, or her skill tree. She does a lot of magic percentage, right, with hers. She also has 4 slots here for flat stats of magic. So not too bad, right? She's got 6 percentage numbers for magic, and then 4 for flat stat. And then she has 2 that are defense, and then 2 wind damage, right? And then the rest are her increase in skill effects, right? So there you have it. There she is. Gear-wise, if we take a look at her. So she could use a little bit more, maybe 100% more critical damage, maybe. Maybe. She could. Just surround, your gear with, or surround your substats with whatever her skill tree looks like, and just, I would say a nice balance would be with her, if anything. Exclusive gear-wise, expandable pile bunker gauntlets. So this has a basic attribute of magic, 45%, right? Or exclusive attribute, I'm sorry. And then basic attributes at the time, it had a balance between flat stats and magic percentage. So there you have it, right? Not bad, actually, in fact. In case you want to change it, you can change it. I wouldn't really do it. Just leave it how it is if you were to roll for it. Now, is it worth going for? Is it worth going for the gear? Not necessarily. You can actually just simply, as an alternative, you can just use the Eye of the Destroyer, because it also has a flat stat, and it also has a magic percentage. Now, you're not getting the exclusive attribute of that 45% extra damage for magic, but in a lot of ways, this is still just as great. Okay? And that's what I actually would use. I would use this one. But that's up to you. Now, anything else? Team-wise, since she really only relies on basic attacks, right? Now, mind you, she can activate her skill every other turn. Okay? But Terese, B-Side Angel, I would use her because obviously the skill with 5 chain stacks or less would definitely help her. Grenadier, I would definitely use Grenadier. Helena, Be Idle Helena, definite. Okay. Um, if you're new, you can have put Elpis even. She increases magic attack percentage as well as adds crit rate. And then anybody else, that's really it, honestly. That's all I can think of at the top of my head with the team base surrounding her. And I don't know, you can add somebody that puts vulnerability on the enemy. So like Sonya, she can help with it, right? If you're going up against a water type, then you can have Deanna for increase of property damage. Bridal Raphethia would also help, since you can activate her turn or her skill every single turn, right? Same thing with Ikage. If you're looking for some property damage increase, Deanna's your girl, okay? Especially with now her Magical Innovator. If you have it unlocked, you can legit use the drone on her too, okay? Now we're going to take a look at Yomi. Okay, so Yomi was at the time, 2 years ago, right? It's a long time ago, right? So Yomi at the time, she was actually the free 5-star that they gave out, and also her gear. So they gave out her gear for free as well, the Roaring Sword Ragnarok, and also the SR one as well. You just had to do, you know, simple basic missions, which I'm sure they're going to have her for free again. I'd be very shocked if they actually didn't, to be honest. So that's what I'm saying. Like, I do believe that they're going to do it again. Okay? Now, if we look at her costume. Now, I didn't, again, level up her skill tree at the time because I didn't have the materials. But if we take a look at her, right, let's see a +0. So she uses SP. She uses 7 SP, by the way. It's quite a lot, in fact. However, her cooldown time is 3 turns, so you can legit use her every other turn, right? Attack the enemy 4 times, dealing so-and-so physical damage based on your gear equal to 30% of your attack per hit. At +1, right? Her SP cost does not go down, by the way. So +1, just keep that in mind. Attack the enemy 4 times, dealing more physical damage equal to 50% of your attack per hit. So an increase of 20%, right, per hits. At +2, again, it goes up by another 20%. So 70% of your attack per hits. Damage for physical also goes up. And goes up again, another 20% at +3. So goes to 90% of your attack per hits. Physical damage goes up, as you can see here, right? +4, again. So you see the intervals, right? So this one is 110% of your attack per hits. Physical damage goes up. And at +5, it goes up to 130% of your attack per hit. Physical damage goes up, attacking the enemy 4 times. If you level up her skill tree, you then now reduce the SP cost from 7 to 6. And physical damage goes up. And then it's equal to 170% of your attack per hit instead of 150. So all in all, she uses a lot of SP. Yes, she does. She uses a lot of it. But, you know, she still does a wide range. As you can clearly see, it's 9 tiles, right? It's a 9-tile hit. Okay. If we look at her skill tree wise, she has flat stats, right? Flat stats, a lot of them, in fact. So what you would do with this then is you would focus more on percentage numbers, right? And she has also 4 sub stats here, which is critical damage, percentage numbers. And then this is where you increase her skill and reduce her SP consumption. So there you have it. So we look at her gear, right? So percentages would work best on her for attack. So in all honesty, God King Silver Arm is your best bet for this one, okay? Venomous Touch, you can just add it for extra critical damage, and then everything else, just balance it out, okay? And then her exclusive gear. Now, since technically you're getting it for free, you don't really need to craft another, like, or any UR gear, because, like I said, I'm pretty sure they're going to rerun her and give her out for free again with this one, so you do not have to worry about this, okay? But let's just say if they don't, for some odd reason, then you would go ahead and you would craft, I would personally do the hammer, if anything. Hammer of Thunder, because it's a nice balance. Has some more flat stat of attack, but it also has an attack percentage number on it. Correct? I would use that. But yeah, that's actually the only one I would use because everything else has a flat stat of attack. And you don't want too much on with flat stats since she has a lot of it already. But I would use the hammer. Okay? That's, like I said, that's only if, like, you know, they don't give her out for free. But I doubt that's going to happen, okay? But yeah, so they have it with Yomi. Okay, there's Yomi. And then now we have Yumi. Okay, so Yumi, which I still use for some content, in fact. I do. I still use it for some content. Okay? Now, Yumi here, and we have the fireworks message here starting in 10 minutes. Now, I actually did, in fact, level her up with her skill tree. So, we take a look at her, right? So, plus 0, her SP cost is 5. Right? Her cooldown time is 1 turn. So right off the bat, she can activate this skill every single turn, which is actually pretty crazy. And at the time, it was a very broken skill, mind you. Okay? So we look at her now again with plus 1. Her SP cost goes down from 5 to 4. Her skill effects stay the same. Right? So, oh, yeah. Let me read her skill effects real quick. Attack the enemy 5 times, dealing so-and-so magic damage equal to 30% of your magic attack per hit. Apply stacking frostbite. Now, at the time, it used to be bleed, which was wild, right? It actually was. It used to be a bleed. But they changed that during the 1.5... Not 1.5. They actually changed that during the 2.5 anniversary. They did. When frostbite came into, you know, into the game again, because, mind you, I think Cynthia... I think that's her name. The 3-star, she has blonde hair. I believe she was the only one that had frostbite in the game, right? And then at 2.5, they decided to be like, you know what? We're dropping Darian. Let's have Darian do Frostbite instead, too, as well, right? And then let's just change Yumi's because it makes more sense. And in all honesty, it makes more sense. Yumi doing Bleed as a water type just didn't really fit for the longest time, and I do agree with that change. That's, you know, changing Bleed, right? Changing the Bleed to Frostbite made sense. But anyway. So we're talking about her again. Apply stacking frostbite to the enemy for 3 turns, dealing so-and-so magic damage equal to 10% of your magic attack per stack. It can stack up to 99 times. So, yeah. Look at her at plus 1. Her SP cost goes down by 1 point. Everything else, skill effect-wise, stays the same. At plus 2, dealing more magic damage equal to 60% of your magic attack per hit. So it goes up by 30%, right? From 30% to 60%, okay? That's the only thing that changes, right? Now, at plus 3, however, the bottom half changes, as you can see, right? So frostbite, or apply stacking frostbite to the enemy for 3 turns, dealing more magic damage equal to 15% of your magic attack per stack instead of 10%. So it goes up by 5%, right? Plus 4, your top half increases again, so another 30%. So dealing more magic damage equal to 90% of your magic attack per hits. And then at plus 5, the frostbite to the enemy for 3 turns, dealing more magic damage equal to 20% of your magic attack per stack. And then if you level up her skill tree, her top skill here goes up by 120%. So, all in all, that's really nice. And also magic attack does go up again, right? And also her SP cost goes down again too. So instead of 4, it's 3. So nice, right? Very nice. Now, like I said, I still use her for content. Okay, I still do. I use her, in fact, for like any enemy, I guess, that's a fire type, obviously. I use her still. You know, and then obviously now that we have Grenadier, I would say she does hit a little bit harder now. She does. And the thing that she can is stack up Frostbite. Okay? She can stack up the hits here. And at the time, she was actually the strongest out of the Senran Kagura collaboration characters. And then Hikage was next, right? Now, if we're looking at her exclusive gear, Kurakage's, let's see. Kurakage's fan. It has an exclusive attribute of a flat stat, in fact, of 67. And basic attributes, magic attack, flat stat, and critical damage. Right? So obviously now you can change it to, instead of a flat stat, you can now change it back and forth percentage, you know? But at the time, you couldn't do that. Okay? I would say, you know, costume-wise, look at her skill tree, which, you know, I forgot to do again. Sorry about that. So we look at her skill tree, so she increases magic percentages, right? So you would surround itself, or you would surround her substats around some more flat stat, balance that out, right? SP cost goes down by 1. Her skill range does increase, okay? Because it goes from 2 tiles, vertical wise, to 3 tiles in front. So almost the entire field, right? And then obviously her stats here increase. So all in all, she was very effective. Even if she attacked vertical wise, she was very, very effective. And I still say she is. Now, as a whole, do know that, yes, things have changed with meta. We all know that, okay? Magic is not necessarily there, but it's coming back into play, as we clearly saw with Mamunir, since she can now stack, right? She has a, what was it? What was it again? Was it a 6 or an 8 hit? Let me look at it. Let me look at it again. It was 6, 8. Attack the enemy 8 times. So yeah. So Mamunir attacks the enemy 8 times. Okay, guys. So like I said, they are bringing magic back, right? And if you want to add Yumi to your list, because she does attack the enemy 5 times, keep that in mind. Okay. Now, as for investment, you know, out of all the girls here, okay, out of all the collaboration characters, if I had to do it all over again, right, if I had to pull them again, I would personally just pick Yumi again and Hikage. That would work on both of them, okay? Hikage, I still use for last night mode, in fact, for the chain stacking, okay, because in that, you want to chain stack very, very high, right? So I use her for that content still. Yumi, like I said, with her, I still use her in Tower of Salvation from time to time, and also even in some other floors. I believe it's, oh my god, which tower is it? It's Wrath of Desire. It's one of those. But I still use her. I'm just saying I still use her in general. Okay, guys. Now she can clear obviously out earlier content and story. She's very effective, yes. Yomi, Yuzukura, Hikage, they all can. Later content, not too sure about that. I honestly don't think they can, in fact, but I don't know. I don't think that the devs are going to, you know, increase their stats because obviously they're a collaboration. I don't think they're going to do it. However, we do know that they are dropping a new character on the field from or for the collaboration that was actually, you know, if you go to their JP live stream of it and look at the part, and in fact, you can look at my previous video that I even did, and I did show it to you guys on the screen there in my video, that they are adding new characters. So who knows, maybe she'll be the one that, you know, can handle the current meta, right? If you're worried about that, maybe she can do it. But ever since that Goblin Slayer collaboration happened last year, you know, and the talks surrounding itself being like, well, because there was something where this came up, and I do remember it, where there were some complainers. Okay, I don't know what else to say, guys. There were some people that complained about how, you know, they felt that a lot of these units in general were FOMO, right? They were FOMO, and they needed to have them because obviously they were strong. So then the devs, what they did was they didn't make the collaborations in Goblin Slayer as hard hitting with damage numbers. And that's why then we have more complaints then saying after that, like, they're not very strong, right? They even changed Sword Maiden's attack range, in fact, to be an AoE scale instead of a T. It was a T attack, like how Nightmare, because it was actually very similar to Nightmare Bunny's attack. It was very similar to it, but then they changed it. But that was because people said it was falsely advertised when they looked at it. right? That's actually the real reason why they did it. But I believe it also had to do with that, the fact that like they didn't think they were strong, right? So I don't know if they'll I don't like for real. I have no idea. Maybe I don't know. Maybe they'll surprise us, but I wouldn't really put too much, copium into that. I'm just saying it might happen, but I don't think it would. So maybe we'll rely on the new costume release. But like I said, if I had to do it all again, I would choose Yumi and I would choose Hikage. Okay? Exclusive gear wise, if you want it for collection, go for it. If not, and I forgot to say for Yumi's, if you don't want to go for Yumi's, then you can just go for since she does have more, I think it was what flats not flat stat, it was percentage. Then balance it out with either the Eye of the Destroyer. So you get magic flat stat and magic percentage numbers, right? Or if you want some just flat stat in general and to just make everything else percentage, then go for the book, the Demon's Forbidden Book. Obviously tier 4, by the way. And then there is the Travel God's Friend, but keep in mind this adds critical damage, okay? And then a flat stat for magic, okay? But there you have it. That's all I really wanted to cover, showcase to you guys in case you're curious, and I hope this did help you guys out and deciding. Okay, guys, I really do hope it did, and that's really it. That's all I have to tell you. So with that being said, y'all have a great one. Take care, stay classy, and I'll catch you all in the next Brown Dust 2. See you guys.